Hello, and welcome back to the Timely Focus. Today we are taking a look at the Seiko SRPH59 Seiko King Turtle. Seiko is a brand that needs little introduction. Founded in 1881, Seiko has become one of the most successful watchmaking companies in the world, and for good reason. They make some amazing watches, one of which is of course the Seiko Turtle. This watch was first introduced nearly 50 years ago in 1976 with the 6306 and the 6309 references for the Japanese and worldwide markets respectively. Its 150 meters of water resistance, 60-click timing bezel, and day-date feature made this watch highly functional, while its good and unique looks compounded to make this watch an instant hit not only among professional and recreational divers, but celebrities like Ed Harris and Mick Jagger alike. The Seiko King Turtle is particularly special to me because I grew up hearing cool story after cool story from my grandpa who loved to scuba dive and bought this very 6309 back in the late 1970s when he worked for the US Navy out on Kwajalein in the Marshall Islands. Over the nearly 5 decades since its introduction, the Seiko Turtle has established an extremely well-proven track record as a hard-wearing yet uniquely handsome dive watch. But the original Turtle, with its hardlex crystal and anodized aluminum bezel insert, while classic, did begin to feel slightly outdated by the mid-2000s when many brands were moving to sapphire crystal and ceramic bezel inserts. In fact, a great number of people began modifying original Seiko Turtles to fit them with ceramic bezels and sapphire crystals. Look at any watch forum and you will see quite a few people talking about how they have upgraded and customized their Seiko Turtle. So by 2020, Seiko recognized this and delivered upon this need with the Seiko King Turtle. Features such as a sapphire crystal, ceramic bezel, stronger loom, and more intricate dial details all added together to take the original Turtle to the next level, and did so at prices that would be very difficult, if not impossible to beat by starting with a standard Turtle. The new King Turtle comes in a variety of colors. They have a ton of references, but my favorite by far is this reference, the SRPH59 Special Edition for America, Save the Planet Edition, something like that. They have very long names. This version especially does play into the turtle theme. Seiko says this model celebrates the ongoing efforts to promote ocean exploration and conservation, as well as their partnership with the Oceanic Society's State of the World Sea Turtles program. Personally, I like turtles, so I think it is quite cool that Seiko is doing a little bit to help steward God's creation in the sea. However, the star of the show is definitely the amazing dial, which further reinforces Seiko's reputation of being extremely good at creating beautiful and unique dials. From a distance, it looks like a richly executed fume dial, but get a little closer and the subtle pattern of a sea turtle can be seen. This is a dial that demands to be viewed up close and turned in the light, for by doing so, more and more strikingly fine details can be revealed. And speaking of light, there are a great number of watches whose dials look really good in specific lighting conditions, however in others look really boring, flat, or just uninteresting. This one, however, I have yet to find a single lighting condition in which it does not look good. Even in the dark, it has great loom, so no problem there. And sometimes when I'm outside in a direct light, it looks very iridescent and extremely vibrant. Other times indoors, it still looks just as vibrant, but has more of a matte finish, and you can really see the contrast between the white paint on the applied hour markers. It is a really great dial, and sometimes I catch myself looking at it to see the time, and then of course, as watch enthusiasts, sometimes we just get caught up looking at the watch, forgetting to look and see what time it actually is. I've handled millions of dollars worth of watches, and in terms of dial beauty to cost ratio, this watch has got to be up in the 99th percentile. Of course, this is somewhat subjective, but I think this dial is one of the most beautiful I have ever seen on any dive watch at any price. And yes, the bezel alignment is rather questionable. I do say questionable rather than simply calling it off though, in part because of the design of the mechanism itself. The bezel includes 120 clicks, and there is significant backplay in the action. This all definitely leaves quite a bit to be desired in terms of the bezel. Seiko is known for this though, right? They have a reputation, unfortunately, of poorly aligned bezels and questionable loom pips. So, Seiko, please fix that, because other than that, this is one of the best watches I have ever worn. Powering this watch is the Seiko 4R36. Ticking away 6 times per second and having a power reserve of 41 hours, this movement is nothing to write home about, though it is well proven and features hacking as well as hand winding and a quick set day and date. This particular model includes a day wheel written in both English and kanji, a feature normally reserved for the Japanese domestic market and coveted among Seiko enthusiasts. Furthermore, while some of the more affordable watches Seiko produces for the global market are assembled in Malaysia, with the movements being made in Japan, this model is proudly exclusively made in Japan, which is a feature I really appreciate and feel adds to the originality and authenticity of the fully in-house made watch. One downside of note regarding this movement is its slow day and date change, which starts at 22:15 and finishes 5 hours later at 03:15. That is a really long day and date change. Furthermore, Seiko cites an embarrassingly large acceptable daily deviation of +45 to -35 seconds. That is terrible. Luckily though, mine does float around +5 to -10 seconds per day, so on average, it is doing okay. Nothing crazy, but I would be bummed if I got one that was on the outer ranges. From what I hear though, most seem to be falling within a more reasonable -10 to +10 second daily deviation. If you have a Seiko with a 4R movement, definitely let me know in the comments below. I am curious to see what others are experiencing with their movements. The watch itself is so beautiful that pairing it with a 4R movement does seem rather disproportionate. Personally, I believe that the beauty of this watch deserves to be matched with one of Seiko's top-end 8L movements, and I would be more than happy to pay the commensurate increase in cost of that upgrade. While Seiko is often criticized for lackluster bracelets, I am actually fairly pleased with this one. I really like the way its 5-link style looks. However, what you might not notice right off the bat is that it is not actually even a 3-link with polished inner portions of the outside links. It is a single link, just with different polishing and edges and things so as to look like a 5-link bracelet. But nonetheless, it is still really attractive and extremely comfortable, so I do not really have any problems with it. In a way, I am rather impressed that Seiko was able to pull this off and still make a really nice looking and comfortable bracelet. There are no half links, but there are 4 micro adjust positions on the pressed clasp. Of course, the clasp could have been milled, and that would have been a lot nicer, but there's actually still something rather charming about this retro-styled pressed clasp. It also includes a full diver's extension in keeping with the ISO diver certification. But if the bracelet is not for you, this watch does also come with a great silicone band that is quite comfortable and provides a more casual look to the watch. So, after owning this watch for over a year now, I can confidently say that it is an amazing watch, and because of that, it gets a heck of a lot of wrist time. I enjoy all my watches, but I have to say it is definitely this one and my Rolex Milgauss that get by far the most time on my wrist, because they're the ones that I enjoy the most. They're the ones that I am grabbing on a consistent basis because I like them. Between the uniquely beautiful dial, utility, history, and comfort of this watch, it is really hard not to love the King Turtle. Yes, this watch does have its faults, but it is so close to perfect that one might actually call it near turtle perfection. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. It was a ton of fun to make. God bless you all, and I will see you in the next one.